It's the Superhuman Television Show, your guide to living beyond 100 years in good health. Now, here's your host, Carl Lanore and Tony Vanetti.
Hi, I'm Carl Lanore. Welcome back to Superhuman Television, and this is Tony Vanetti. How you doing, Tony?
I'm doing fantastic. Please listen to my radio show a little bit later today on 790 AM. It's a little bit next to 84 WHAS.
Very good. And actually, right now, I'm on the air. I'm on the air from noon to 2, Monday through Friday at superhumanradio.com. Oh. Tony, we're going to talk about something today that I think is going to be both enlightening and shocking to some parents out there.
Well, I am a parent, and there are so many potholes and health issues with your kids. They literally will keep you up at night trying to keep your kids safe and away from whatever. And this is going to really, everyone listen up, because everyone's got problems with their kids and allergies and breathing and everything else today. What do we got?
Well, there is, back in 2005, a couple well-done studies started to observe a linkage between snoring in children, behavioral problems, and even ADHD, children who've been diagnosed with ADHD.
Well,
and so this is this is something that hits home for any of you parents out there who have a child who you say is moody from time to time. They wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Those days they're just difficult to be around. The teachers are complaining. Some of the signs that you must look for is, does your child snore like an adult? A lot of parents think it's cute. They go, oh my God, you have to hear the way little Tommy snores. It's unbelievable. He snores like a truck driver. This is not funny. Not funny. If they gasp or hold their breath while sleeping, you need to observe this. Does your child wake up exhausted? Children should not wake up exhausted, especially if they're getting 8, 9, 10 hours of sleep at night. Do they complain about having a chronically stuffed nose, especially at bedtime? This is something you and I talked about one time.
Yes.
And if so, and they've been diagnosed with some sort of ADHD or behavioral problem, this is a wake-up call for you, no pun intended. The snoring could be the reason, and you can change your child's outcome very quickly.
We've had a lot of shows on rest and sleep, that you have to get your sleep. You think it's different for your kids? I mean, no, it's the same thing. That list there translates to adults also. But you got to have your kids to be able to. Does your kid get up and
look at this picture for a second, Tony?
Right. Okay.
Children should be be able to sleep with their mouths closed.
Yes.
If they have to sleep with their mouths open, this could be the earliest sign of what's going on. This is critical to notice.
Well, they could be too dry in their nasal passage, right?
If they can't breathe through their nose, they're going to snore, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. But here's some interesting information. Okay, we know that in adults, obstructive sleep apnea could actually destroy your heart.
It could kill you.
But here's how it destroys your heart. A lot of people don't realize how. Snoring, even moderate snoring in adults, and especially in children, changes the way your nervous system responds. So at night when you're sleeping, it is not natural for your body to have to struggle even a little bit to get air.
You never really sleep.
But here's what happens. Your body is struggling to get air.
Right.
That tells your body you're in trouble. So this raises stress hormones in the middle of the night.
Yes.
On top of that, then because it's doing it over and over again, night after night, the nervous system becomes imprinted. You remember the old days, they say a guy came back from the war shell-shocked. As soon as he heard a loud noise, he jumped. He thought he was being bombed, right?
Yes, yeah.
Well, the nervous system has become imprinted. When the nervous system becomes imprinted, that it may not be able to get air in a second, then it becomes, flips back and forth through the flight and fight syndrome. Mm-hmm. The parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, which are part of the autonomic nervous system, becomes tweaked. And now these children, for no unknown reason, are always on edge, always nervous, always like a little scared dog that wee-wees on itself when somebody comes home. The poor kid is struggling because their nervous system has become imprinted with these stress feelings for 8 hours a night.
For the rest of the day, too.
Well, it lasts longer than that.
Yeah.
Once a child's nervous system has become imprinted, it could take weeks or even months for it to unwind itself.
So your sleeping pattern for your child could translate to the problems in the classroom, problems with his classmates, and problems at home, okay, where he just can't, the attention deficit disorder comes into this thing. Again, sleep is, I'm obsessed with this one. I have a son that has allergies that are a level 10.
And we're going to talk about that, because
Right.
that's a telltale sign right there. If your child struggles with allergies, you have to pay special attention. Are they snoring at night?
Yep.
The other thing is that we have just recently discovered in the past 6 or 7 years that there are direct connections between what the nose registers as oxygen and the hypothalamus. There is a direct line between the nostrils and the hypothalamus. Think of your O2 sensor in your car. Okay? So it's not only the volume of air that's going through the nose that's affected, but the presence of oxygen tells the brain everything is fine. You have nothing to worry about.
Right, yes.
Okay? This is the same thing that happens what's known as the mammalian breath hold response. When you feel waterboarding works because when you feel water on your face, you think you're going to drown, even though you're not at the threat of drowning.
It's just a very little water.
Okay, so all of these mechanisms are designed to keep the human being from smothering by accident.
Right.
That is happening in the middle of the night. Your child thinks he's smothering in the middle of the night. The brain is registering that there's a problem going on. The other thing is that there's a phenomenon called turbination. When air flows through the nostrils and through the sinuses, it produces other things like nitric oxide.
This could be causing, again, some major
No, please.
problems with your child. This is a big subject today. Sleep and your child. Do not go anywhere. We're going to tell you how we can fix this thing and get it fixed for your child. I'm big on this because I believe sleep is the key to everything, and we have a ritual every single night in our household.
Well, just imagine if there's a parent out there who has a child that they're heartbroken because they're having trouble in school, and straightening out their snoring turns it around. Stay tuned.
All right, stay tuned right here. Lanore, Tony Vanetti, Superhuman Television on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
All right, today is an important subject. We're talking about kids and their sleep cycle, and if they're not getting the proper sleep and or they're getting some sort of prevention of getting the oxygen to their brain while they are sleeping in a proper way, they could be causing all your problems during the daytime.
Yes.
In school with their classmates or their attention deficit, this all could be tied together if he's not sleeping. Think of yourself as an adult. If you're not getting you're irritable, you're not concentrating, all that stuff, that translates to a kid.
And the child's brain is forming at this point in time, and it's critical to get this problem solved right away. The first thing that you need to look for, and we said this before, and I'm going to say it again, is does your child have a stuffy nose, have a hard time breathing through their nose? They have to breathe through their mouth. They're sleeping with their mouth open. This is the first warning sign. If you hear your child snoring, if I don't mean a little grumbling. If you hear your child snoring,
it's not cute.
And it's rhythmic, and it's consistent, and it's constant, they can't breathe through their nose, they're breathing through their mouth. This is why they're snoring.
Hey, by the way, if you're snoring, it's not funny. You got to get that fixed.
Right. So the first step is, and I very rarely recommend people run to a doctor, but in this case here, if your child has a problem breathing through their nose, you need to go to an ear, nose, and throat specialist to make sure that there's no obstruction. You need to see an allergist to see what can be done as a rescue remedy. We can address things through diet and so on, but right now you have to get that nose passage open so that child can breathe at night.
There's a ritual that we have in our home that in the middle of the winter, when we start to sense that there's some stuffiness going on, I will put Vicks on my kid's chest.
And if that works, fine.
And it clears up.
That's fine. What I don't want you to do, and I'm going to say this emphatically, is run out to a drugstore and buy something like Afrin, because that is the worst thing you could do, because that will actually cause the nose to get worse over time. You do not want any over-the-counter remedies for this, folks. You want to solve the problem, not mask the symptom.
Even for a temporary time with the Afrin?
No.
Because I know you tried that.
The problem with it is that, as many people know who use those things, that you rebound and they become addicted to them technically, because you have to keep using them to keep your nose open.
Right, got it, okay.
So this should not be what a child turns. Go to a doctor, find out if it's allergies, find out if there's an obstruction. The second thing is, get to a pediatric dentist and ask the dentist if your child can be fitted with one of these. And this is called a mandibular repositioning device.
Okay.
Sometimes part of the problem is not just the nose, but that the tongue
jaw.
and the way the jaw is, because they're little, they're young, their jaws are narrow.
Right.
So the aperture to the throat is closing off even for the nasal passages.
Right.
This gently pulls the lower jaw forward.
Right.
They sleep with it. I'm going to tell you something. I sleep with one of these because I was snoring and I didn't want to snore anymore. And so now I sleep with an MDR and I don't snore anymore.
Right, yes.
So
That's
this
important.
just gently pulls the jaw forward, keeps the child from snoring. So this is another thing that must be identified if the child is snoring.
And here's the thing, wake up in the middle of the night. I know as men, we always try to, every once in a while you wake up and you just kind of check the house. You know, I do that all the time. It's just a thing that we do. Go in and peek in on your kids and see how they're sleeping.
Okay, let me tell you something I did, and this is a good point, and I didn't think about talking about this. When I decided to start sleeping with an MDR, it was after I bought a small digital recorder and put it next to my bed.
Great idea.
Because I was being told that I was snoring and gasping for air. And so I put a small digital recorder next to my bed and I recorded myself for one entire night. And since I do a radio show, I brought it into the studio and put it into one of our station computers and I generated that thing. And when I saw that there were periods of time where I was snoring so loudly and even holding my breath from moment to moment, that is when I thought, you know what? I got to do something about this.
There's a lot of friends. I'm 44 years old, and there's guys that are about 10 years older than I am that are all on that CPAP. They have the air thing that forces air. And I want, for you people out there, think about this. Those guys that I talk to cannot go to sleep now, and they freak out if they don't have their machine.
Yes.
Okay, now I want you to think about how you feel if you don't have your machine, if you're a grandfather and you want to think about your kids at this moment. Think about that they can't sleep at all without their little CPAP machine. Think about kids and they don't know any better.
They can't tell you that they're gasping for air at night.
They can't tell you, right.
You have to, and I'm going to say this one more time. Even moderate snoring in a child is unacceptable. If your child is snoring rhythmically, continuously, I don't mean the little grumble that a kid makes. I'm talking about if your child snores, you need to do something for that child.
Now, as an adult, also, here's what I do. I sleep better when I'll take in a Aleve. A Aleve gel cap before I go to bed, because again, it's anti-inflammatory.
No, I wouldn't. I'm totally opposed to that.
You don't like
These
that? Because it really works for me.
They are so bad for you. They're destroying your kidneys. They're destroying your liver. They're destroying the lining of your stomach. It's not the answer. I mean, that's okay. I'm just telling you how I feel about it.
Okay, but that works for me. I mean, I take it. It lets me breathe.
Over-the-counter NSAIDs kill 100 people a month because people they use them, they end up with bleeding problems, they end up with kidney failure, they end up with liver failure. So I am totally opposed to that, and I'm glad you said that because we have to find another remedy for you.
Okay, all right. Well,
that is not the
find
answer.
Another remedy
that is not
because
the
it really
answer.
does help me at night. Okay, so we're going to try to fix your kid's sleeping pattern. The digital recorder is a great idea. If you have one of those old baby monitors,
bingo.
Put a baby monitor in your kid's room when you're watching TV or doing notes for your work the next day, and just kind of listen in and see. Okay, what's going on with Johnny or little Maggie or whatever's going on, and see what their sleeping pattern is. If your kid is waking up and no matter how much sleep he seems to be getting or she's getting, and she still won't wake up or give me 5 more minutes, whatever's going on, or they can't get it going during the day, this could be it.
And especially if they're presenting with behavioral problems. If your child is just sleepy in the morning and there's no behavioral problems and you're listening in and they're not snoring, don't worry about it. They're just tired, okay? But if your child is continually sleepy, you hear that they're snoring, the teacher says that they won't sit down, this could be your solution. This could be it.
Okay, back after this, even though Carl told me I'm killing myself every single
night.
Well,
I'm glad you said that, because we have to do something about that. That's not good.
Back after this, Superhuman Television, right here on WBNA.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, welcome back. It's the Star Trek convention at Superhuman Television. Tony Vanetti and I are wearing our blue blocker glasses.
Captain, the photon prosthetos are not working.
Okay, so we've gotten a lot of questions about this. People have heard me talk about wearing blue blockers at night before going to bed to help lull your body into sleep because it's blue light that tells your body to stay awake.
Right.
And these remove 99.9% of all the blue light and will get your body ready for sleep. These are made by a company called Uvex, and they're actually called Skypers. The beauty of these is that they're safety glasses with completely adjustable temples, and even the lenses rotate up and down so you can put glasses beneath them. So if you want to wear reading glasses or regular glasses, you could put these over them.
Right.
The way to use these is at the local sundown in your area, you put these on. Then you can still watch television, work on your iPad, work on your computer, and it won't keep you from going into a restful sleep. This is called biohacking, folks.
Right, biohacking is good. I told you my doctor friend that would put on a welding mask
Bingo.
when he left, and he would drive home with the welding goggles, not mask, the goggles, so he would drive, and they wouldn't take him off till he got home so he can go to sleep.
Right.
During the day because his night shift would end.
This is basically the concept. This will block out 99.9%. You can get these at Amazon.com for $9. Come on, buy 5 pairs. Have them next to, have them all over the house. The key is to put them on around sundown, and then when you work on your computer or watch television. And by the way, when you first put them on, everything is so bright orange, but you get accustomed to it. I'm looking at a TV monitor right now. It's not like as though I feel like I can't enjoy TV. All the colors are still there. The only thing that's missing is I'm not getting that wavelength of blue that would make my eye go, oh, it's still daytime.
He's been around for a long time. It's not a secret, man. I mean, it works.
It's a secret for this.
Yes.
It's a secret for using it to get yourself prepared to go to sleep. And this is a great thing, especially if you're one of those people who you just hate to put your iPad down and then you go to sleep and you just don't sleep well.
Right.
Just use these when you're playing with your computer and your iPad.
Because your brain is still on. If you're the guys that watch television late at night and you watch it till you go to sleep, you wake up and there's the TV, your brain's still on.
You're not sleeping.
Yeah, you're not
And
sleeping.
you're not producing melatonin. The blue light is keeping your body from producing its own melatonin, which is the cue for your body to get ready to go to sleep. So this is the answer, $9, no excuse, okay?
Can I keep these?
And by the way,
I'm just going to walk around with them all day.
I want to mention something before we go into the next segment when we do a listener question. Since producing this show and directing this show, Dan Foose, who is our director and producer, has given up soda. And I want to applaud him on the air for not only the courage to do it, but the desire to do this once and for all. It's going to change all the lack of chemicals, whether he's drinking diet soda or not. It's going to change his life. It's going to change his life.
Right.
And I want everybody to do these kind of things.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
You get rid of grains, you get rid of sodas, you won't believe how well you're going to feel. Again, we say 2 weeks. You know, you eliminate something for 2 weeks and see how you feel. The paleo diet, try it for 2 weeks and see how you feel. No, he's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. The glasses are working.
No, so put these on. You know you've got to work after sundown. Your body's been trained for millions of years, right? You go to bed when the sun goes down, you get up when the sun comes up, and you go to work. I mean, it's a cycle that's been living for tens of thousands of years. I mean, keep with that one.
But it's the blue light of modern technology that has caused all of the sleep disruption. Those of you out there who struggle with a good night's sleep, and I know what this is like because I went through this back in around 2005 where I actually went through a bout of insomnia and I felt like a ghost walking around the house while everybody else was asleep.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that if you are one of those people who doesn't sleep well, you know that you would do anything for a good night's sleep. Well, here's part of anything. Try this.
Right.
Put them on at sundown. 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Put them on no matter what. Read your book, watch your TV shows, then get in bed and see if after a few nights you don't notice you start sleeping more deeply and better.
Yeah, that or just, I know a lot of it's mental, but insomnia, just work harder. I mean, get up at 5:30 in the morning and just do a whole day. Go dig some holes in the backyard. You want to do some physical labor all day and then see how tired you are at night. You're going to go to sleep, dude. I promise you that. So get after it. It's important what we talked about today with the kids and their sleep patterns, and we want you to keep an eye on that, and we'll revamp this here when we come back from the break.
And when we come back, we have another viewer question. It's a really, really good one. It's about paleo. So So you're going to want to hear this.
Ugh.
Superhuman Television will return after these messages.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.
Hey, welcome back. Oh, you okay?
I'm sorry, there you go. Superhuman Television.
Yes,
It's
yes.
the Goomba and the banana.
We have a viewer question, from what I understand.
Awesome. You can send them to superhumanradio.com and soon to superhumantelevision.com and send the questions to us. But these are all local questions. From Tess, my best friend is a nurse. I told her that I was going to give the paleo diet a try after seeing your show. I have fibromyalgia. Myalgia, yes. She warned me not to and said that the medical community has not done enough research into this diet to make sure, to be sure it's safe. What could I say to her to change her mind? Tess and Prospect.
Well, Tess, you may not be able to change her mind because people who are part of the medical orthodoxy quite often are the most rigid about anything that they haven't learned about in school, and this is unfortunate. One of the things that you could explain to her is that, well, while there hasn't been any current research on the diet, I think the evidence is pretty much safe because we've gotten here for thousands of years eating that way. It's only been, when you look at our nutritional evolution from the beginning to now, the way we eat currently is like a sliver over all this time.
Yes.
So eating the way we have ancestrally for 1,000 years is absolutely not going to hurt you. And the other thing that I would say is a lot of people within the medical orthodoxy will claim that, well, it's not wise to exclude any food. You shouldn't exclude grains. You shouldn't exclude legumes. However, the medical orthodoxy has it the other way when they tell people, well, you have to exclude saturated fat if you have high cholesterol or heart disease. So they want it both ways. They want to tell you what they want you to exclude, but they don't want to exclude things that they're not comfortable with. And quite frankly, excluding grains and legumes is actually a good thing because they are pro-inflammatory, and we did a show recently about inflammation. So I would say to you, instead of trying to use your energy to convince her, why don't you just do it, do the paleo diet. If you have severe fibromyalgia, you may have to give it a month, but do it yourself and see how you feel. And then let that be the testament to whether or not the diet works or not. And forget about all this, this camp says this and this camp says that. What does your camp say? Does it work for you? Then tell her that. Say, hey, I did it, it didn't work, or I did it and I feel marvelous. Then what is she going to say?
Yeah. Right. Always consult a doctor on any decision that you make, but again, try it and see how you feel. That's the most important thing. You pretty much know after you eat something whether you feel bad or good.
Yes,
End of
sir.
story. And when they started mass producing food for all the people that live in this country, with half the food are outlawed, or in most countries in Canada and Japan, Australia, just Google up how many foods are on the products at your grocery store that you cannot buy in Japan, in Canada, because it's killing people. All right, so just keep an eye on it. Paleo diet is a great idea. Superhuman Television, Carl Lanore, Tony Vanetti, every day right here on WBNA at noon. We will see you again tomorrow.
Your body knows what it wants. It wants to feel stronger, work harder, act faster, and think sharper. Give your body more nutrients, more antioxidants, more protection, more of what it wants. Try Live On Lab's liposomal vitamin C today, risk-free, and give your body the nutrients to support your overall health, without jitters, without side effects. Order online at liveonlabs.com.